Yo, welcome back to another episode of Rolling with Life. This should be episode 5. We're coming to you live, baby.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Introduction done. Happy Victor.
There we go.
This is your host, Chris. My boys over here, they'll introduce themselves.
Alex, baby.
Big.
But nah, I was saying to these guys, I was like, doesn't it seem like when you're not in the mood, like when you're in a bad mood, more like that's when your jeans like get caught on a drawer or something. Like, you ever had that, bro?
Yeah.
Or like the seatbelt won't pull down because you're mad and you're trying to leave, and it fucking I feel like that's just life telling you like, hey, take a breather, man.
The light won't turn green.
Yeah.
Sitting there like,
you're at a red
"Motherfucker."
light,
But you know-
everybody's moving.
Those moments feel like that's God being like, hey,
Be patient,
chill out.
motherfucker.
You're way too angry, way
testing
too
your
hostile
patience.
right now. Like, yeah, it feels like it's a test of patience. But in like, I look at it like, all right, you're right, God. I need to take a little breather right now. Like I'm tripping or whatever. But that's just funny how life does that to you. And I have no reason to bring that up. I just fucking didn't know what else to bring up.
No,
yeah.
but how about that fucking show on Thursday?
Dude, that shit was lit.
Oh,
Fucking
yeah,
Ralph
yeah.
Barbosa show, yeah.
Dude, you said Thursday, so I don't like,
what the fuck happened
I don't
on
connect it to
Thursday?
like doing stuff on the weekdays, you know? I don't do anything
I
on
don't
the
remember
weekdays
what I
but
did
work.
yesterday.
Nah, I mean, I only work on the weekdays, but it's pretty rare that I'm out here.
Last weekend was lit. Last weekend was lit as
It was
fuck.
dope.
Yeah, for those of you guys, you might have heard us talk about it a few times on previous episodes, but we went to the Renee Vaca and Ralph Barbosa show here in Portland, Oregon. And that thing, it was my first time going to a comedy show, so I was already like surprised, but it was really good. It was a really good show. And then at the end, they dedicated a little time for Ken Flores, you know, for him passing away. And they even
Flaco.
showed they even basically had him close out the show.
Yeah.
He basically closed out the show with a skit of his, he's got a special coming out. It's going to be on Hulu on May 9th, I believe. So next month, May 9th.
He had his
if
own
you guys
show.
want- No, it's going to be a special.
No, I know. I'm saying that night he had his own like skit. Like they did.
Oh,
they
yeah.
did a
He
whole
had his
tribute
own-
to him and everything. It was
Yeah.
dope.
Yeah,
That's
he
nice.
did. He had his own little segment, so it was dope.
Was it? Did you guys see? Was it his sister that was there too?
His brother and sister.
Yeah.
But they're like 10 years apart.
Yeah.
I think he said his mom
seen,
remarried
I
or
was like,
something.
what?
There was a part in the show when Ralph Barbosa went up, and I swear he looked at me, bro. Like, you know what he said? He said, he's just like, man, lately he hasn't been smoking weed anymore, but you know what he's been doing a lot more? You know what he's been doing a lot more now? Shrooms, bro. And like, dude, I felt like he was talking
Oh,
to me.
bro,
I was
me
just
too,
like, I was
man.
like, this fool looking at me right now. I was
No,
like,
but Ralph
are
always
we best
talks
friends?
about,
Are we
Ralph
best
always
friends
talks about
now?
how he does shrooms. He
Yeah.
doesn't really smoke weed.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
Everybody always like his look. He's like, people always assume that I'm a pothead.
That he's high,
like,
yeah,
but I
for
don't
sure.
really even smoke weed like that.
Yeah, yeah.
He's like, I
He
prefer to
used-
do shrooms.
Yeah, he
I
said
thought-
he used to. He's like,
I thought that shit
my
was
bassist,
hilarious,
yeah.
bro, because I was on shrooms, obviously, and I thought I was cracking up, bro, when I heard that.
Bro, I thought you were gonna talk about the time he tried to inspire the crowd. Like,
Oh, that was later. That was later.
that's what I thought you were gonna say. He said some
was
gay
like,
ass shit. And he was looking at my eyes.
Yeah,
we had a
bro.
shroom connection.
Yeah, we did, bro. We were on the same vibe, bro. That
He
shit
was
was
like-
lit.
You're like.
Yeah, me?
he looked back at you.
Spotlight.
He looked
Yeah, I
back
know,
at you as he's
bro.
putting it in his mouth. He's like, forget about it, my boy. Forget about it.
You're too late. You're too late.
What I thought he was thinking about is I did think he was talking to us in a sense.
He was.
Like not
He
directly
was.
to us, obviously.
No,
but, you
he
know,
was.
I took it that way, like in a crazy life kind of way. But like he was at the end saying like, hey man, anybody that's out there like trying to do what we're doing, like record content, anything like that, like just record. He's like, don't worry about like, you know, like basically don't stress about it. Just put the content out. And if it's meant to be, it's meant to be, you know? And I just kind of took that like as a moment, like a sign, you know, like fuck it. Like, let's keep it going, you know, let's keep doing what we're doing.
That was some good motivation for sure.
Yeah, it definitely was.
Yeah,
It definitely
yeah.
was. And it motivated me. Once we left the comedy show, we went to like a bar / club. And I whipped out the phone and started recording a little bit. I don't know if we'll put that stuff out.
We'll put a little bit out of it.
It was a little rusty, you know. It was just like
It was a little raw for sure.
yeah, it was way too
Yeah,
loud
it
in there
was-
to understand what
yeah.
anybody's saying. But it was definitely just like a moment, like, you know, we need to start doing that because we keep talking about these vlogs, and I'm not gonna lie, there is no vlog done or even in the works yet.
Not yet.
It's like
We haven't
it's
even-
10 seconds.
We were gonna go to like this truck meet, and the day before we ended up drinking with Christian's dad. His dad brought out the bottle. As soon as everybody was drunk, he's good. As soon as he saw everybody drunk, he's like, now you whip out the bottle. And he blacked
Fatality
everybody out,
finish
dude.
him.
Yeah, he blacked everybody out.
Damn.
He set us up good. He's like, just come over for like a little barbecue, little
Some
oysters.
little
and shit.
aphrodisiacs.
Dude, we ended up with a fucking bottle blacked out. The next day, I didn't even call these guys. I was like, hopefully they don't call me to go to the truck meet.
I know.
They didn't hit me up, so I was like, they went without me. Cool.
Yeah.
I hit him up the next day. I was like, did you guys go to the truck meet yesterday? He's like, nah, I was
no.
hurting,
Yeah,
dude.
fuck
So
no.
there goes that vlog.
It was raining anyways. Fuck
Yeah,
that.
hey, but it was
People got
wild
hit.
though. It got wild.
It did look crazy.
Yeah, so-
That's what happens when you fuck with señores. Ya estamos cansados de la vida.
Yeah, fuck. I was on this guy's couch, fucking all that
All
next
day, yeah.
All
I
bad.
made some bomb ass steak that day, but later in the day when I
couldn't
was
even
like
eat
feeling
it.
better, I was
couldn't even eat it.
I was already like over the hangover, and I was like, all right, I can eat now. Fucking made some steak and shit.
Dude,
but
I
damn.
think I waited so late that day to eat too. But I think I got an idea of where I do kind of want to do like a piece of a vlog. It's gonna be like some food review, but it's just because this place was that good. I'm not really like too into doing food reviews with my fat ass. I already look bad on camera. Fuck, I look like reviewing food. But this place was that good, honestly, and I want to go shed some light to them because it's a little food truck just hidden behind like some furniture store. But they surprised me, bro.
Linda's?
Like I legit have to. It's in Tigard. It's called Tacolandia, but it's a little like food cart, and they had ramen birria, which was so good, dude. Like just
That shit
just the
smacks.
birria alone
Yeah.
on there was good.
Yeah,
but
ramen
like
birria is fire.
we ended up getting like a bunch of like one thing of everything, you know, like to not of everything, but like 4 different items just to test it out. But it was so good. I had to literally go and like tell the lady like I eat a lot of Mexican food. I'm a big fan of Mexican food. It's one of the things I eat the most when I go out. And I was like, it's probably one of the best Mexican food I've had in a long time. Like, no lie.
She looked
I had to
she
tell
looked
her.
you in the eye, and she's like, "Mijo, are you crudo?"
Probably.
I'm married.
Hey.
Nah, I showed up with my kids and my girl. But yeah,
damn.
we got to put that spot on for sure.
I gotta
But
go try it out. Take us. Hey,
Yeah,
take
dude.
us out.
one of these days.
Yeah,
man.
hell yeah.
Maybe mañana.
Another thing about that night though, the Ralph Barbosa show. Who did you guys think was better? Honestly,
Honestly,
I like both of
Renee.
them. I'm not saying either of
Both?
them was bad, but they were both great in their own way.
Honestly, for me, I feel like Renee was more like relatable funny to me.
Not only that, but I feel like he was more like hyping it up. Like
He's more off the top for sure.
Yeah.
He's
But
like,
also,
Ralph is way more chill.
he leads
guy.
into the jokes. Like
Ralph
he-
is already on Netflix too.
Yeah,
Renee's
yeah.
not.
Yeah, no.
Ralph's already on that. Ralph had Dave Chappelle come on stage with him, and
Yeah.
like they smoked a joint together on stage. Like that's a big moment for a comedian. Like the GOAT just fucking passed you
Yeah.
the torch in a sense.
Yeah.
Renee Vaca hasn't had a moment
Literally.
like that. So in a sense, maybe Renee just has to work a little harder still, and Ralph's kind of more like, I'm doing movies now, baby. Like this
Yeah,
comedy
that
shit,
is
you
true.
know.
Yeah,
So maybe
that's
he
true.
wasn't trying as hard. Not to say he wasn't as funny. He was funny in his own way, but like I said, to me,
was.
I just related more to the.
He
comedy
did. He
Renee
did
had.
say something though that I was just like, that makes more sense. He's already been doing it a lot longer, so it's like probably harder for him to come up with more skits, more things like to talk
Yeah.
about. So,
Yeah, but-
you know, he can't talk about the same things over and over. So
Also, if you look back, he's always been laid back like that, though.
Yeah, he
Like,
is.
all his
It's,
stuff.
that's also his style. He's a
Yeah.
like in rap, like Fabulous. He doesn't talk like he's yelling or anything. He's rapping like this in a sense. He's
Yeah.
like smooth talking. And there's other people like 6ix9ine that have to like fucking get their heart
Yeah,
out.
bitch, yeah.
Yeah, but I feel like Ralph is just the laid back one, and Renee's just more wild on stage. He's like the one pacing back and forth, while Ralph is kind of standing in place. But yeah, there's some jokes I want to say, but I don't want to say them on camera for sure. But they were too real. They were too real to life, to real life.
damn.
No, but hey, that guy from Woodburn though, that he brought
Oh,
up on
yeah.
Oh,
stage,
Ro-
made
that was
Woodburn
funny
look
too.
bad.
The homie Alex roasted him on the way out. He deserved it though.
No, because like we were all just like, it was just a large crowd in Portland.
If you're watching this, you know who you are.
No,
We
but
know who you are.
there was a lot of people at the auditorium, and it's like I didn't think anybody was from Woodburn besides us, you know.
Shit, bro.
Besides maybe a couple people like that we knew around us. I was like, I didn't recognize a lot of people, so I was like, I just imagine like Hillsborough people, Beaverton, Portland. Not everybody here is from Woodburn, you know?
No, yeah.
And so when they called like somebody on stage, like, get on stage, Renee Vaca does this thing where he's like, come do the leg or whatever. I don't think that was the case, though. I think he just brought him up because he was sitting next to someone else's girl.
Someone else's
He's like,
girl,
where's your
yeah.
girl sitting? She's like, back there. And she's like, who's sitting next to her?
Yeah. Bring
him
I
up.
want that guy to come
Yeah,
up.
so
yeah.
he came up. And, he had him like with the stool. He's like, fuck the stool.
Fuck the stool. He's like, what you mean?
Yeah.
Fuck the stool.
And the guy was like all shy, you know. He just wanted to go up there. I don't know. He probably never seen the show because it's part of the show a lot. Like he fucks the stool, and the guy like gets on top of it and like kind of like barely humps it, like all shy. And Renee like pushes him off, like, bro, get off.
Okay.
And Renee goes and he slip and slides on the fucking thing. And he like starts stroking it
he
hard.
like goes across the stage.
Yeah,
Dude, that shit is hilarious.
You're the one over there going to town.
You're the one that wants to see it again. Nah, but
Reenact it. Hey, be the stool. Be the stool.
And then the guy, like, everybody was like, whack, you know, like it was weak. And then like the show ended and we were like, let's go to the club. So we're like, let's go get our cars in the parking garage to park somewhere else. As we're going to the parking garage, that guy's standing right there, like just waiting for someone. And I was like, hey, you're the one on stage, huh? And he like tries to dap me up, like, yeah, that's me. And I'm like, weak ass strokes, dog. Weak ass strokes.
Hey, Alex did one of these, the undercut. Psych.
Yeah, dude, I was like, weak ass strokes. And then I was with these guys too, so we all laughed, and he just looked so discouraged, like,
God, and he was with his girl.
She's probably like, you gonna hit me with those today?
little pamps. Little pamps.
Oh, shit, bro. That shit was too fucking funny.
No, that was a good ass time. If you guys haven't gone to a comedy show, definitely recommended, man. Like, I'm a big fan of comedy, and I've watched stand-up comedy my whole life. Like, I was the kid renting them growing up, just watching shit, and I couldn't believe I've never gone to one. So it was way better in person.
And the crazy part of like, fuck, what did Ken Flores even pass away from besides him being like obviously heart attacks
He had
and
a
shit, cocaine?
heart problem.
Cocaine?
He had a heart problem, so he shouldn't have been doing coke to begin
Yeah.
with. He already had a bad heart problem, but he would like run it.
But he was on his way up as like the crazy, you know, and that probably made it worse, you know.
That's what
his
he
condition,
says.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched a lot of his
Like,
podcasts
yeah.
before he passed, and like
People giving it
That's
to
what
him,
led to his death, of him becoming
Yeah.
famous. Like,
and then not only that, people enhancing, because he said he said it multiple times, like throughout the years. I think for 2 years he was saying it like, I'm gonna quit. But he'd always say like, dude, it's just hard. You go to shows and people hand you the shit.
yeah,
You know,
I
or
think
like,
he said it on the when we
Yeah.
were doing the tribute. Yeah.
yeah, but he was just like,
Oh,
it'd be
no,
like,
he's
dude, he's in the
mixing.
hospital. Motherfuckers bringing him coke to his
His
hospital
uncle.
bed. Yeah, so it's
His
like he just
uncle.
had like bad influence all around him, and like it seemed like he wasn't the only one doing it. You know, like everybody around him was doing it. So it's like, fuck, it's hard to stay away
Always
from it.
around him.
Yeah.
And that's what he said too. He's like, dude, when I start stand up, he's like, I'm gonna stay away from drugs. He's like, just to find out comedians are the biggest drug addicts. He's like, they're doing way more than you think they're doing. But
that's the life of a rockstar, probably though.
basically, yeah. And that's what he said he would do, dude. He would like stay up till like 3, 4 in the morning at a comedy club, go home, pass out, wake up hella late, like at 5, 7, and
God
then fucking eat food, shower, and go to a comedy club and start it all over. Start drinking, partying, go home, pass out, wake up, and start drinking, partying. It's like that was the life he was living.
When I was in elementary, the teacher asked me, "What do you want to do when you grow old?" I want to be a rock star. Damn. Not no more.
a rock star, so way.
¡Ay, Dios mío! ¡Me estoy cagando! ¡Se me sale la caca! ¡Ay! ¡Ay, Dios mío!
He had a lot
Time wasted time.
man.
For intros.
Smoke weed every day.
Fucker. What's that? I was like, stupid. That shit's fucking hilarious though.
All right, guys, we got a little bit of a story time segment. Chris, you got something you want to say?
Yeah. I'm gonna share a little story about not my happiest or my highest moment in life, but there was a story that I have with Alex specifically, and I'll wait till he sits down.
My bad. All right, go ahead, Chris. Go ahead.
No, you're good. So we're gonna get into the segment of just a little bit of a story time, a little backstory about us. I don't think you probably know that we bullshit and we party and we, you know, but all the dumb decisions we've probably done in our life. But one of these stories is what makes
Most of
us.
them?
It's what makes us also. It's the memories that nobody can take this away from us. I was having this conversation with Ivan Aguilar. Shout out to my boy. I was just hanging out with him on Saturday. We went snowboarding, and then we were just talking about like, damn, bro, like all the good old days, you know, all the shit that we used to do, and He's like, you know what? He's like, I don't take any of it back though. He's just like, you know, if I could go back and change any of it, I wouldn't, because nobody can take that from us. And living those memories. But I have a specific story that I will always remember with Alex. We went to the beach. I think it was like Cindy's house party or some shit. There must have been like, I don't know, like 200 people up in this house. The house capacity was maybe like 30, 50 people. And there was probably like at least 200
I remember that
people.
the house being overpopulated. Yeah.
I remember people going up the driveway and like they couldn't make it up the driveway even because it was so steep, and like
I had
somebody
just-
like blew out their fucking like oil pan or something. Like
Damn.
yeah, like trying to go up that thing. And, like everybody was like at the top of the driveway and like everybody was like booing that man. It was like, damn.
I remember that night specifically because I had just bought my red Integra.
Yes.
And I remember thinking like, I don't know if my car will make it to the beach or not. Not because it sucked, but I was like, it's a new car. I don't know if something's wrong with it. And I remember thinking like, I'm excited though. I just bought this car. It's a GSR engine. I was like, we're taking it, dude. I remember that. I just remember that night specifically. That like,
It's a Honda, bro. I'll make it.
yeah. So
I just remember that night. There were so many people up in that house. Everybody was partying. There was people in like every single room. There was like,
we were
like,
all minors, by the way.
Yeah.
we were all under 21.
Yeah, everybody I knew there. I mean, I knew a bunch of people.
Even the party host, Cindy, was not 21.
Yeah,
yet.
no, everybody was under 21 for sure. Like, I think we were like 19, 20. I don't know.
Yeah,
how
we were like 19.
Yeah, and anyways, the house obviously got raided. The fucking cops got called. Everybody fucking scrammed. But I remember fucking, we were like, everybody's hiding in the bushes. Everyone.
Can I say something before you move past that point?
Yeah.
I remember being in the kitchen, and it was a 2-story house, and most of the party was upstairs. 'Cause
Yeah.
the kitchen was
I
upstairs.
remember this now.
So it was kind of like it had a hill, you know. So it wasn't like
There was a drop.
there was a drop around most of the house except
Yeah.
for the living room. The living room had like a patio and a hill going up from under, you know. And so I remember like everybody saying like the cops are here, and I remember turning around towards the sliding window. And everybody started jumping off the patio on the second floor, but it's because there was an uphill next to the jump patio.
But it looked
they were
crazy.
like landing on the hill. They were landing on the hill, so it wasn't like a drop to the first floor. It was like from the first floor
was
the hill
like,
started.
fuck that.
It looked wild though. It did look
It
wild.
did look wild. I saw it from the inside too. I was like, these people are
It wasn't
really
until the
jumping from
next day or
second
later
floor.
that I ran by
fuck,
the
I
And
rather
like,
get-
it
I'd
was
rather
like
get that
swarms of
MIP
people.
ticket.
I'm talking about like swarms of people jumping off. I
like
remember that.
Call of Duty zombies jumping off.
Yeah, just coming after you.
Yeah, but it was wild seeing like people just jump from the second floor. It wasn't until the next day that because I spent the night there and I didn't.
We spent the night there.
Yeah, I had no choice. The cop caught me and I was like, I'm spending the night here. And so I just remember seeing the hill the next day and being like, wow,
The
that's crazy.
Alex
That's why people
Motel.
were jumping.
We were
But anyways,
saying.
continue. People started running everywhere.
Yeah, people started running everywhere. Everybody was stashing their shit everywhere. I remember I was like hiding in a bush.
There was only one person that stashed their shit.
and got it jacked. Fuck. It wasn't me. But anyways.
I found it the next day.
No, I have homies that they stashed a bunch of shit and like somebody must have seen them. They went back for it later. That shit was gone. But no, my dumbass was fucking hiding in a fucking in a bush for like an hour and a half.
Oh, damn.
I was hiding in a bush for like an hour and a half. I thought that the coast was clear. I come out. As soon as I come out, fucking cops behind me, bro. And I started running. And he's like, stop running or else I'm gonna tase you. And I was like, you motherfucker, bro. And he was like only like 5 feet behind me. So I was like, all right.
Should have been like, Cap.
You won't do it. And no, I should have tested it, but my dumbass at the time I just stopped because I was like, all right, whatever, he got
If
me.
you can catch
is an
me.
MIP ticket, bro?
It was an MIP, exactly.
It's like fucking $50, $80.
No, it wasn't that little either, but
I got suspended for that shit.
you do get suspended for that shit. Yeah, I'll have you know.
Yeah.
If you ever got MIP, you know. But anyways,
So there went my red
But-
Integra
so-
I had just gotten.
no, that's not even the crazy.
I got suspended.
That's not even the crazy part of the story though.
My license.
Oh,
got
your
suspended.
license is suspended.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't get suspended from school at 19, motherfucker.
That's why I was like, what?
your license gets suspended if you get in.
That's how they fuck with you. Yeah, the
I just bought my new car
The
and I had
fine's
to
only
store it
like
away.
$200, like $250, I think. But it's
I
not. The
was like,
fine's
bro,
not that crazy. But it's
Never
that
give
they
a fuck
suspend
about
you.
license.
Anyways, but no, my dumbass fucking had some shit in my pocket that day, and I was over here like arguing with the cop, and I even tried running away after like I was already right next to
My
him.
boy was arguing so hard until you remember he.
Yeah,
had
and then I
something
put
on
my
him.
hand into my pocket.
He's like,
and I
I'll
was
shut the
just
fuck up. He's
and
like
then-
Homer Simpson.
Yeah,
Meme.
yeah.
He was going back into the bushes.
If you can put that video up right here.
This is Chris.
Yeah. As soon as I put my hand in my pocket, I was like, oh shit. I don't even know why the fuck I'm
I should
arguing.
shut the fuck up right now.
Yeah. Yeah, that was crazy. It was just weed,
Hey, you
guys.
know what,
but
Asifer?
at that time, weed was illegal.
Yeah,
At that
yeah.
time, weed was
Hey,
illegal.
you know what, Asifer?
You're right,
Yeah.
Ossifer.
You're right.
Yeah, I can't find the one.
That shit was hilarious.
Hey, that would've
though.
been funny.
This was Chris. He fucking found this shit in his pocket.
You've reached your limit on talking. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
No,
bro.
you know what that reminds me of? Have you guys seen that one video of that Mexican getting a DUI? He's like, why didn't you tell me? He's like, I don't want to.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's like, have you ever been pulled over before? The guy's like, yeah. And what? I don't care. He's all mad.
I don't care.
He's hella having a fit with the cop. Dude, I remember George telling me, I don't know if you were running with him or somebody was running with him.
No,
I was split up from you
I know
guys.
this story too, though.
But he was saying that he was trying to avoid the cops. There was like a bunch of stories because everybody just scattered. So another one of my friends ran.
George
with
was there that day, actually. What am I saying? Yeah.
So he ran with someone else, and they were running, and they were like looking back, like making sure the cop wasn't chasing after him. And out of nowhere, he said he just like boom, just felt a drop. He ran off a hill, like a hill cliff, like.
yeah, probably like a 10-foot drop. I
Yeah,
don't
it
know.
wasn't the
Yeah.
worst, but it's like in the dark, you're not expecting. You're running full speed ahead, and out of nowhere, you're just like Looney Tunes, fucking falling off a cliff, like
Fucking Roadrunner.
Hey, you should have that.
Nah, I don't have that, but yeah, that was another one that was crazy. Unfortunately for me, I got caught like such a lame. I fucking couldn't pace myself, and I had way too many shots that day. I mean, imagine 19-year-old drinking. Is
At New Integra.
Yeah, you just don't know how to control yourself. And I was like, I'm spending the night here anyway, so I was cool with it. I remember I started drinking, and dude, I puked, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go to sleep in my car. That way, I don't, get worse or do anything stupid.
Hey, we
So I
were trying to
passed
be
out.
responsible, yo.
Yeah, so I passed out in my car, and I wake up to
Little do you know, it's better to drink and
fucking
drive.
flashlight in my face, and like the cops like open the door, and I was
no.
like, "Fuck!" I open it. He's like, "I'm giving you a DUI." I was like, "Or no, an MIP," and I was like, "What?" I was like, "I'm not even like you haven't even spoke to me." He's like, "Bro, there's puke right outside your car door," and I was like, "Fuck!" Like, how am I gonna play this?
Hey, that
off?
was my dog.
So I was like, "Whatever." I was gonna argue with
Should
him.
be like, what? Someone peeked on my car?
Bro, I woke up fucking with puke probably smelling on my breath.
Sure.
Nah, it wasn't that bad, but
Damn.
I just remember this, just a tip for anybody else. He's like, I would have left you alone. He's like, but you're in the driver's seat with the keys in the ignition, and that just tells me that you could drive, so I need to do something about it. He's like, if you would have been in your passenger seat with no keys in the ignition, I would have just left you alone.
Yeah,
So
I need that.
word to the advice. Anybody out there? Any minors that want to drink and drive?
It's full.
Just kidding. But yeah, y'all should pass out in your passenger seat. Don't ever pass out in your driver's seat.
Yeah, for real. And don't leave the keys in
Yeah,
the
I didn't know.
As long as the key's on the ignition, you're
That
good.
too. Yeah, no keys in the ignition.
You live and you
then-
learn. You live and you
And
learn.
lay down in the passenger side so they don't assume you're gonna wake up and drive. Be like, nope, I'm sleeping in the passenger side because I'm not going anywhere. But just word of the
Just
wise.
don't do it, bro.
I mean, even to an adult. I mean, if you're at a bar and you want to spend the night in your car,
If you're an adult, you
do
can
it
pay
in your
for a fucking taxi.
that too. But if you're a broke adult that
That's
doesn't have
true,
money
but
to get
yeah,
home,
yeah,
pass
true.
out in your passenger seat, my boy.
Yeah,
You're broke. Why
straight
the
up.
fuck are you even at the bar?
Porque la vida es fría. Because she's a bitch. She did me
she's-
dirty.
And she's best served cold.
No one did nothing to me. I'm just saying mentality.
On the
If I
rocks.
was
On the rocks.
if
yeah.
I was broke and I was still at the club, that's the reason why.
No, but I mean, there's a bunch of stories like that. I have so many more, but it's just I'll share one of those just because that's one night that I just don't ever forget.
Yeah.
Because I actually got caught that day. I got an MIP, but it was fun as hell. It was a fun ass party, but I remember Alex was specifically there with me, and like
A lot of us got.
a lot of people got MIPs that day.
Dude,
Like, yeah.
speaking of which, the girl that rented the house,
Yeah, she must have
she
got fined up the
fucked
ass. Yeah,
over so
yeah.
bad.
Yeah, I
like
don't
she got
They,
fined. for, like,
not only that, the
supplying-
house was vandalized.
Oh,
like,
I
yeah.
didn't know
People
that.
started fucking up the furniture.
That's fucked up, bro. I
They
always
started
thought that's
like
some lame
it's because
shit.
there was so many people there, bro, and like fights
Yeah.
broke out. Like, dude, I forgot about that. Yeah, bro.
So she got like
fucking-
the Airbnb fines, and
Airbnb
then, like,
must have fucked her over.
she got like supplying minors with
Yeah.
alcohol and like all this type of bullshit. You know, like
Yeah.
fuck, pobrecita. But hey, lit ass
Hey,
party though.
lit-ass party, though.
We're always talking about you. You made it on a podcast. You even made it on a podcast.
People don't forget.
The one I wanted to talk about was something related to that. We were minors. I'm probably not gonna get into as much detail because I don't have Chris's memory. But I just remember being at a party here in Woodburn and like being 19 and you know, like it's the first time I'm at a party where I've heard people say like, if you're at a party and you get caught, you know, you get an MIP. I still hadn't gotten one. So I was like in the backyard and they start yelling like, cops, cops, cops. And I just see everybody running towards the fence. There was a fence. And we all just jumped it without seeing what was on the other side. I was wearing shorts. And I just remember like I jumped the fence and like it was a thorn bush on the other side. And it was like a big ass like bush. You know, we were behind the bush. So I was like, we need to run through this bitch if we're gonna get away. And like you're young, first of all, you're drunk, you're buzzing, the adrenaline, you're scared. So dude, I ran through that shit like Superman, dude. I didn't feel nothing. I just went right through it. I didn't care like if my face got scraped up. I just put my hands up and started running. We made it out the bush. We were on one side of town in Woodburn, like by the water tower. We ran all the way to Stonehenge without stopping from the water tower, like trying to get away. Like
for days.
Who was chasing us? I don't know. We didn't see anybody chasing us. All I heard is we're getting as far away from that party, you know, so we're not related to that party. And we get to Stonehenge. And like my leg starts hurting, and I'm like, "What the fuck?" And I look down, and I had like, I swear, like you know, those like the thorn bushes have like big ass vines, you know, especially when they're
around his leg.
Dude, it was like a thick ass one, probably like 2 fingers thick, like just wrapped around my leg and like in there, like stuck to my skin. Because when I try to pull it off, like I had to like yank it off, like I had to get a stick and like yank it off my leg because it was like the thorns were so thick and deep in there. That's basically as far as my story goes because that's all I really remember.
And then the pain kicked in and everything's a blur after that.
Well, the adrenaline's away, you know? The adrenaline goes away.
No, straight up, yeah. That's how it goes, though.
That's all I remember about that night. That's as interesting as that story gets. But I just never forget about that vine being wrapped around my leg and how I, like, jumped into, like, a... Nowadays, I think if I jumped a fence... and saw the bush, I'd be like, fuck, I'll just take the fucking MIP.
I can pay it.
But it didn't hurt that bad. I mean, it was definitely worth running away.
As a 32-year-old, yeah, I'd take the MIP.
$80
$80 ain't shit.
Yeah, but
that's a night out. Shit.
The one other time I had a little drunk memory that just won't leave my mind just because it's like haunting is one time we were drinking in Woodburn and then
He's in Woodburn, bro.
the party ended and like one of the homies lived in Kaiser.
Man, putting Woodburn on the map.
Even at a Rene Vaca show.
Yeah, straight up. You
With
really
the little
did.
pamps.
Hey, you really did. I hope.
Pamps.
We keep asking you motherfuckers to comment.
Damn,
If you
shit.
made it this far, let us at least know. Thumbs up on the sound. W sound.
W.
Something. Fucking.
Put
No
a little,
thumbs down. No thumbs
put
down.
a little,
Don't put no
yeah.
fucking-
You know how embarrassing it is to be like, comment on the video and no one comments? I'm like, oh, I see you, motherfucker.
Y'all didn't make it this far.
Hey, but I'm not going to lie, though.
I'm gonna put fucking case in all your motherfuckers.
Oh, okay, yeah. King Kong ain't got shit on me.
Nah, I'm not going to lie, though. I don't blame y'all if y'all didn't watch all the way through on previous episodes, especially the last one. No, not the fourth one, the third one. I was rewatching it after we uploaded, and I was kind of like, damn, this is hard to
watch. Yeah,
it's hard to watch because it's hard to listen to, and so yeah, I remember feeling like, dude, if I barely want to keep watching this, I could imagine you guys barely want to keep watching it. So shout out to you guys, man. If you guys were in there watching us, you gotta. If you guys.
See that?
Yeah.
I was like, you fucking hiding the can with your cup.
Has it inside. Nah, but for real, shout out to you guys if you guys did. I know there's a lot of you guys that did watch all the way through and like commented and stuff. So I really appreciate you guys for sticking through with us and listening to all that bad quality. And we hope and pray it sounds way better now. And
No, and I really, really think it is. Shout out to Alex for fucking getting this fucking major
He
upgrade.
did this out of his own pocket.
But no, it's a fucking huge upgrade. I think it's gonna fucking do us some justice. All right, but on the real though, what was your guys' favorite joke from the Rene Vaca and Ralph Barbosa show?
Bro,
all right, I'll say it, but cut this out. We're not including this. I'll tell you right now. Let's go back.
But I can't fucking, bro. I thought they were all of them. I'm just like, fuck, they were all funny. I can't pick one out.
Yeah, no, honestly, me neither. I just remember fucking laughing really hard at when Rene Vaca was up there. I laughed pretty hard too when Ralph Barbosa was up there and we made eye contact. You know?
This guy, where is it?
When we were talking about the shoes and we were vibing, we were on the same level. I remember that. No, but that's the one thing that I remember. And then the other one was that we talked about earlier, the whole motivation thing about you keep posting, you keep doing you, keep grinding, don't stop, and that was dope as fuck. I really that
was
resonated
Ken,
with me.
Wasn't it?
That was Ken Flores, yeah. But they talked about it afterwards too.
Yeah.
And yeah, that shit was dope though. But that whole fucking show was lit. I remember going afterwards to the fucking bar, seeing even Renee, our homie Renee, and then Isaac. I mean, Isaac's the homie too, and I don't really see him very often.
Today.
But it was dope as fuck. Like, you know, our
Not only
girls,
do we not see
were
each other
having so
often,
much
but
fun.
like all of us together in the same room.
And then I saw my
It's
homie.
been
that's
like
crazy.
It's been
I,
like a
I
decade.
ran into my homie Alex that I snowboard with and his wife, and like, dude, and we all knew each other. They all knew each other. You guys were like friends from like, I guess back.
We
in
weren't
the
really
day.
friends. We were acquaintances.
Wait,
Like,
bro,
we went to elementary school
There you
together,
was,
but
there
we
it
were
was.
never like in the
But you
same
guys
friend
knew
group.
each other.
Yeah, we
You
were
guys
never
knew
in the
each
same
other.
friend group.
Right.
Like,
So
it
I
can't be
thought
two Alexes.
I thought
Same friend group.
Alex
number
1.0 and 2.0.
Like curly head and not curly head.
Yeah.
That's what I don't want to say that. I was gonna say that, but I don't want to say that.
No, but I thought it was a really great time. It was like a night that I probably will remember for a long time, just because I had such a fucking good time at the show. And then the aftermath, I was talking to you afterwards. I was just like, bro, there was no drama. There was like nothing but great vibes. We
Yeah,
were
it was
drinking.
dope.
Like, it was fucking lit. Like, I was on shrooms. I was a little over too lit, but it was
yeah.
fucking fun as hell.
One of the things, just switching things up here, or switching it back kind of to what we were doing, talking about the beach house we went to and everything. One of the things I had written down is, what did you guys feel like back in the day when you guys were like at the age, like after high school or during high school, you know, like when partying was your prime? Like, did you guys prefer that club or did you guys prefer a house party?
House party.
House parties.
I was always a house party guy
Yeah.
too. And I know it's not the same for everybody because I know plenty of homies that were like, that's what
There's
they
very
like to
few
do.
times where I was at the club and I was like, damn, this is so lit. This is so dope. But I think it was more of the people you're with.
There's very few times
Yeah.
that the homie said like,
it's
hey,
always
let's
the
go to the
people-
club, convince me,
it's
and I
the
had a
people you're
great
with
time.
around.
I felt
with
like
you.
every time I
Yeah.
would go to a club, there was always like a fight or something. Like I hated when people bump into me so much.
It was very rare, but I
hate
feel like the
that
few
shit.
times I enjoyed a club was when I already showed up with somebody.
Yeah, you're
'Cause,
there
like,
with the people.
It was such a buzzkill too, like being at the club and like you get someone to dance with you and then their friend pulls them away. Like, no.
Oh,
I'm
that
like,
hater,
well,
that
like-
hater friend. Yeah,
Like it's already hard enough to
always
get
the
someone to,
hater
yeah,
friend.
because you know most of the times the girl turns back on you and then approves or not, and like she approved, and then her friend comes and says no, like bitch, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like I hated the clubs honestly because of that type of shit. But speaking of that, I don't really, obviously we don't hang out with the little kids these days, but on TikTok and shit like that, like I just don't see a lot of people talking about like house parties these days for high schoolers these days. Do they even have house parties, you think?
I don't know.
Times have changed so much because of the phones and stuff, and they're on a whole
They're
different
doing it
like,
on. They're doing it on FaceTime, bro. Yeah.
it's like we were on our phones, but social media wasn't what it is now.
No.
It
There's no
was-
way our phones were not what they are now. So there's no way.
Like
It's
I don't
very
remember
different.
anybody busting out a phone and recording like openly at a party back in the day.
Yeah. No.
And nowadays, like anything you do is getting publicized.
Yeah, like it's scary to do shit now.
But yeah, but I mean,
Straight up.
I'm not even. We're not even like. I don't really like. My nephew's around that age, and he never talks to me about like I went to this house party. He never like. I don't know. I never hear nothing like that from anybody that age.
am I remembering this right? But the last time we recorded was when you got towed.
Yeah,
We didn't talk about it at all.
talk about.
Oh,
Oh, we talked about it on that episode.
we did.
Yeah, we.
Oh,
remember-
afterwards. You're right. All right, never mind. Because I was just like, did we not mention it at all?
No, yeah, we
Yeah,
that
yeah,
last
we did.
episode getting towed.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sure they're gonna include the footage on that or the pictures.
I just heard another little bump, and it was bringing back memories.
and I
I was like,
Oh, the car?
yeah.
Damn it! How do you? Oh, you guys
Hey,
keep
did-
one
did
off.
you-
I keep one off.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
why I was like, I can't hear
Did you
shit.
put the fucking pass on it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
It didn't
Yeah.
fall
kept it
off?
on.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
Yeah,
no,
but-
it shouldn't have.
Let me know if the younger generation, if you guys are younger, know anybody younger, like, nope, I can confirm they still party
Yeah.
these days.
They're still partying hard, going crazy. Nah.
Yeah, I don't.
Hey, I hope the party's
remember.
ended now because my daughter's about to be in that age.
But guaranteed, if they're not partying at house parties, they're probably doing something else. They're up to something else.
I mean,
Who knows?
It's
No,
okay.
I'm pretty sure there still is, bro. Because I always see a bunch of fucking little kids at like at truck shows, like the takeovers and shit like that.
Yeah.
They're just
And-
doing it differently
yeah.
now. They're doing it differently.
That's why you hear
And
a lot
you know
more
what it is?
accidents.
The younger,
out there, bro.
you know what it is? We come from an older generation. Maybe our parents, like we're first generation. Our parents
We
were
sound
working
so
so
old
much.
right now.
Look. Not only that, look. We're parents, and then like they're all like everybody that's like Latino. As far as that goes, like they're not. They're kids. Like you're. Vic is going into that, you know. So where his daughter is gonna be like, Vic already knows what's up, you know, like that shit ain't gonna fly with him. So
Yeah.
it's just like, dude, every other parent's probably dealing with the same shit.
Plus, you're lucky too, in a sense, that your daughter's like way older than our kids, because like it's not gonna be such a difference between you and her
Oh, I know.
versus your youngest daughter. Like, there's gonna be a big age gap there.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Your daughter grew up listening to your music. She enjoys
Bro,
your
you see
music.
her edge,
Yeah,
like,
I mean, my son
look.
does too. But nowadays, he's got his own taste now. Like, he's got his own little world going on.
Yeah, but Aaliyah's like a little fucking perfect mix of me and my girl, my baby mama. Cause fuck, bro, she'll be like, you'll see her fucking listening to like the shit I listen to, like Bone Thugs or fucking like King Von and shit like that. And then all of a sudden you hear her fucking listening to fucking like shit that my baby mama listens to. It's fucking weird. But it's just like random, because she'll play with like one song and then all of a sudden, boom, it's the other one. I was like, what the fuck? Man.
I kind of.
all right, y'all. Thank you guys for joining in, tuning in to another podcast of Rolling with Life. This was a freaking great one because we got some better mics. Shout out to Alex.
It probably wasn't our best episode because we weren't as prepared. This is more of a
Sounding.
this was
Sounding.
more of a test run for the sound.
Yeah.
So hopefully it was good enough for you guys, but we'll definitely come correct next episode. Best believe we'll have some grinding my gear segments, some story times, some funny
we'll
videos.
bring it back. But
Everything.
this one was a learning experience for the soundbar again.
Yeah,
but,
today was mostly to put
But
the
I think
content
the
out.
sound quality is going to sound a lot better this
Yeah.
time for sure. No doubt.
Let us know.
Yeah, but continue joining us and go like, subscribe, and share this shit. We love y'all.
Stay up, man. Y'all subscribe and like the video. All that shit. Peace.